I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CT Review. Today is September 2nd, Tuesday, 2025. Hope you had a good holiday, good month, all of that. So I try to make it short, but beautiful day at the same time. Didn't want to make too much of a video for these next 15 days, but we'll see how it goes. So what did they do? So when we reached up here, when we were talking about reaching this as an objective for the month of August, well, at the end of August, what do? They do a flash flood and try to wipe out all liquidity, right? So the price came down here on Friday. So I was mentioning in the community post, that's why I didn't make a video, I didn't need to. I was talking about we're going to probably use this gap and this imbalance from Monday as resistance since they're laying on each other. What did we do? We did that. Exactly. So you can see here, we closed Friday here, and we shouldn't be this low, first of all, right? So, and this is, sell model here and all that, right? But, with the new month opening, we do have more chance of selling again, only because they have to create the wick of the month, right? Very simple. But I'm telling you that we're going to use this as resistance, right? So as you see that we push up, we come to this Wednesday's imbalance, okay? Look at the body sitting inside it when we did that on Sunday night. So we gapped up, no price action down here. This is a break. This is a lower low, and we're making a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So we're expansion with an expansion. We retrace. We get an expansion and a retrace, and an expansion and a retrace, and then an expansion and then a retrace, and then we get an expansion, and now it's looking like it's consolidating, and we'll get into that in a moment. But the fire here is that. And I'm going to do this just for the simple fact that I told you that we're selling. You can see well, I don't have it quadded in this picture, but it's to the left. But you can see that we're inside, we're working it. And then we had a couple drives up on Monday, which was yesterday. And then we opened up today and just straight coming down, structured already there. Coming down here, we have this 1 hour imbalance, and then we have the opening range gap that's pretty large. So with that, I do have a projection here, and then 3.5 to 4 is down here, and we were accumulated at 2 to 2.5 when we came down here on the end of fucking the month of August, and then you can see here we're tapping underneath that Wednesdays, and then Mondays is to the left, man. Fuck, man. This is too much to talk about, bro. This was the first imbalance of the month here. The one that's dragged out is what I meant to say. So this is Mondays of last week's, and then this is Mondays of this week's, okay? And then we have this quadded here. You could see that when we come up, lower low, and then raid, couple raids. See that? I can't do this anymore, bro. I'm just tired to do this. 1, 2, 3 drives. You see there's 3 highs. 1, 2, 3 highs. That doesn't take that out. Point is that this is a retracement, expansion, and a retracement. We're sitting inside that imbalance right there. I'm not going to draw it. We're sitting here we're stuck at the 25%. If I moved it over, great. All right. And you can see the body sitting there. What do? We break down again, lower high formed at the 50% specifically, dude. Like, this is fire what I'm showing you. Who's got that on their chart? Did I have to have that on my chart? No, obviously not. Look at these bitches, dude. Look at these All right, so and then underneath the opening range, new opening week gap, and fucking going into this breakout level, 50%. You can see the body sitting in this first imbalance of yesterday's holiday, okay? And then look at the bodies underneath the gap. That's very specific. That's very, 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 well, I have to lay it over because it doesn't show on the time frame. But that's very specific. But if I didn't have anything on the chart, that's the structure there. It's pretty simple. Hunting for liquidity quickly. And then now we'll get into this. This is a 1 hour imbalance. So now that I've said all that, all right, we come in, we get this structure here, lower low, lower high, and the leg coming down, and boom, we tag that low. I'm not highlighting that low anymore because that low took out that low. So I'm highlighting that low. Very simple. We tag it. Boom. We have news at 10 o'clock today is what framed when I was going to trade. I was pissed that I didn't catch this trade because I just wanted to wait till 10 o'clock. And sure enough, just a beautiful buy, man. And what did we do? Dump pump first, right? So we dumped first. We came for that low, and then we tagged that low I just talked about. Very clear. All right, and then we bounce on it right there, right at 50%. Such a beautiful trade. Bounces up here, comes retraces back into that candle. Can't miss it. Here's your first imbalance for today, and we're above it. We stay above it, and then here's a 930 level. That's important. We push right through. We have this inversion here. It holds right there. This is also a support block. From low, high to lower low and bust through. We're using this up candle right there. Don't even have it drawn. You don't need it. You have this drawn, and we get the drives up. When we get up here, we get about 3 to 4 drives here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at 10 o'clock. This is specific. It's time involved. We got the gap right there. Too much to talk about. That's why I'm over this shit. But you can see the range that I am literally depicting here for 101.5. We get to 10 o'clock. We snipe right into that 1 hour. Very clear that I'm telling you that it's a 1 hour. What's the point? The point is that I'm drawing that blue line. Look at the blue line. It's on the 15-minute. These last up candles, you could use that too as well. On the 1 hour, it's just that 1 hour up candle that to the open, and to the 50%. And look how they missed the opening range gap 50 right there. That's that level right there. That's the 25. That's the 50. And we miss it on purpose. And I understand that they do shit like that. So when we shot up like this, I'm like, I'm good. I'm getting in. We get this candle that pushes in. I'm in. All right, I'm expecting to use this as resistance, this literal area. They call this an auction area sometimes, where it's a break, and then there's right here is liquidity and an imbalance right above it, and that's a breakout level. So they'll come back and get people more involved inside here, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm using the 10 o'clock wicking in, and then look how it comes down to the 25%. Okay. And then it comes back up. Look at this bold, dumbass candle. I was like, bro, are you serious? But you got to hold on strong. And my trade is not invalidated. My stop loss is right here at 50%. So preferably, I would have liked to have had it here. But I didn't want to be in the trade if it was going to go any higher. Look what it did. Look what it did. It stopped. Look at the bodies. Look at the bodies right there on the 15-minute, bro. You cannot make that up. Beautiful closure, stops right there, and then breaking down. What am I looking to do? Well, I'm looking to get this easy buyers, and I'm bearish. Also, at the same time, you can see that the 4-hour wick before this 4-hour candle that we're in. So I'm getting in on the 10 o'clock 4-hour candle is what I'm telling you. But look at this stupid wick on the 4-hour. Like if the previous 4-hour was to have turned bullish, the conversation might have been a little different. But it did not do that. It closed the bearish candle and it left this stupid wick and it closed on that gap. That's the gap over here. Okay, well, it closed right there, right here. Okay, so we shoot up. Inversion here, but fucking dirty price action right here. Held strong and stuck to the bias, and sure enough, fucking panned out. How'd I do it again? Okay, I got a projection from here to here. 101.5, 2 to 2.5, 3.5 to 4. Then I have this projection from here to here because it's that last 15-minute up candle right there. So I use that right there, right? And then you got 101.5, 2 to 2.5. Okay, that's all is on my screen plus that first imbalance, and you'll see how I get maneuvered through this. So resistance right here, you see that then we push down and we accumulate in this 101.5. I'm using this generally speaking. What are my targets here? You can see I got it very clear. I got these circles drawn just so you know I'm not fucking crazy. Okay, so I got this circle here. I'm trying to get in here. Why? I'm hovering. The top of the circle is a -1 right here from this projection, and the -2. They're literally next to each other. Plus you got that imbalance and breakaway from the 930 when we push right through. That's a 930 level, and I'm highlighting that. What's down here? What am I highlighting there? That first imbalance, right? Okay, so what am I doing? As we see, we break through. I knew everything was all good once this candle happened right here. I'm using this as an inversion. That could have been your entry right there as well. And then you see it slithering down, up candle. And then we get to the 1 and 1.5. We accumulate. We come up. We get into this. We get into this 5-minute imbalance. There's a 5-minute here, and that's what I'm using here. And look at the body stopping right there. Also a little 25% on the bottom right there. And then bearish imbalance. We're already breaking through like a resistance, so to speak, but whatever. Trailing in, there's another imbalance right there. I'm coming right to it, dude. I mean, I'm being very fucking clear, and watch this circle. I'm going to do this. I'm going to show the other fucking trades. Just annoying. But here, you'll see that when I got out of this trade and I squeezed out, that's the 930. Okay? We have, now I drew this circle in between it. And the purpose when I took this trade, because what am I doing? I'm still trying to get down here and be a part of the move while securing profit. Okay, so you can see we have this imbalance here, right? So we wick in and I try to get in. It stops. It goes back up. Some drives up. Just they're trying to wick it up. But what am I doing? Then I'm highlighting this candle right there with the blue line right there. Okay, I have the open price. I have the low of it, I have the open price, and then I have the closure, because if it's bearish and it's going to sell, it has to immediately reject from that close of that up candle. You see how I'm drawing it. I could have drew the blue candle like this. Notice how the bodies are underneath that open. You see that, right? Right? You see that? You see. All right, I know that, but what they were just they went a little deeper, and they were trying to also get to this guy right here, this break right here. This is also considered an auction area as well, just like I gave you the example here. What do they all have in common? They have an imbalance. They have a break they have a breakout level. They have an imbalance and liquidity. Well, you have liquidity to the here. And over here, this would be kind of like your liquidity here. So they're popping up. They have the breakout level, and they're just retesting this so-called it's miniature fractal fucking auction area or whatever. But I understand that it should not go any higher than the high of this bullish controlled price candle. Okay, and I'm taking it right to where? Where am I circling here? Very specific. Why am I circling this? The 50% of that opening of that first imbalance. That's the high of that circle. What's the low of this circle? What's the low of this circle? Push pause and see if you can figure out. What's the low of that circle? Being very specific. That low over here. Aha. See that low? So when we bust through that low and we come back, I expect them to come back to that for anyone who was buying up. Now we also have 50% on a 5-minute over here, right, of the wick, but you know, whatever. But this is all I was trying to do here for this trade, and I'm trying to trail and be done with this. Okay, what do I do at the end? That circle is still there. The circle has not changed since initially I drew it up here. Okay, it's been there. Okay, the circle has not moved. So I catch that move down. Catch it. What do I do? What do I do again? You just saw me get out right here. What do we do? There's an imbalance right here. And I'm aware of that. Pops up. Hits the 50%. I'm tagging it. I'm in. All right. This candle goes a little over half. And then starts slithering down to where? Why am I circling this circle? Why am I circling it? What's the top? The 2%, the -2 right there. And coupled with the, that low that we just talked about. And what's the low of this circle? Obviously that low. But that -3.5. See that? And I'm getting in there. And what do? We snipe in there. We tag it first, and then we slither down just a little bit. Look at this circle. I want you to see this circle. All right. This is to show you great decision making. Yes, I would have loved to be a part of selling it all the way down here. But guess what? I didn't do that. Why did I not do that? Number one, it's already suspect price action. Right, this should sink straight through, to be honest. Okay, number two, I don't know what number I'm on. It's 11:50. Literally, look at the time. It's 11:50. That macro can reverse that bitch, and lunchtime can reverse. I don't need to hit this low. Look how I'm done. I'm done for the day. Do you know what these bastards did? Look at that, baby. You cannot make that up. Okay? Look at it. Didn't take that low out. If you was holding the bag from here, that's, by the way, number 3 or whatever. If you're holding the bag for that low, you fucked up. Why? Why? Why would anyone do that? That's ego. That's greed. You don't need to do that. We're already at oversold in the 4 hour. Look at the circle. I drew it a long time ago. And when we got here, we fucking reversed. And took them out. Why? Because this was not hard. This price action was actually beautiful. This buy was super easy, and I'm really pissed about it. I told myself wait till 10 o'clock. I know I'm gonna wait after the holiday and this and that. You want to be careful in the AM session, and you got news at 10 o'clock. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna wait till 10. And I'm sitting here like, man, you fucking bastards. Because and the other reason why I didn't mess with it was because once we were down here, it was bold face, bearish. I wasn't sure if they were gonna rush for this area here, right? So I left it alone. And sure enough, it was a beautiful buy. It's okay. 10 o'clock came in, boom, I'm in. And look. It didn't take that out. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine if I was to have sat here and waited for that? Look at it, we missed it by points. And that circle was already there. That's why I said I am done. I don't fucking care what they do. What did they do? They reversed that fucking lunch, and they hunted liquidity ever since. And it came all the way back. I'm like, but when I was here, and the reason why I'm upset, and you might be like, why are you mad? Well, I caught this beautiful move, all of it. Beautiful. Oh, great. But I was pissed that I didn't catch this because it's in my model, and it just, it's very common. But, I was trying to be fucking responsible or whatever, but stupid. I should have bought this. This was in my wheelhouse. And then when lunchtime came here, I said, man, if they reverse it, I said, I'm walking away. I'm already exhausted. I'm exhausted now, by the way. I'm always exhausted after long holidays, or every weekend, really, but especially this one. And I was like, just buy it. See what happens. Look at this. Bro, what a beautiful amount of moves. But let me just move forward because now I'm fucking talking my ass off. But I'm really pissed I didn't miss that first buy. Anyways, with dollar here, just kind of doing the opposite here. The 930. Dollar was coming down when we reached 10 o'clock area time. They reversed. We reversed. Whatever. Yields, I think they're going to start coming back up. We'll see, man, but I'm not going to get in that conversation. Also, here we had lower lows here with Dow. Okay. And I could have bought some of this. I just didn't want to. But we had lower lows here, and that was, they were kind of all in sync. But then when we got up here, Dow made an equal high. And this is not a higher high here. It happens to be an equal high. And an equal high, to me, is kind of like it took out the high. And, okay? So we had lower highs here with S&P and NAS. And, we were just trying to come in and sweep all these easy guys out. Oh, look at this, dude. Oh, my God. I knew it, man. Because I'll explain. So expansion, retracement, and expansion, we didn't take them out, but I would expect a retracement after taking out this low. We didn't take out the low. So this is it's the beginning of the month, and it's Monday or Tuesday or whatever. So they, it's very volatile right now. The VIX was moving up as well, and blah, blah, blah. And, the other reason why I wanted to buy this again was because of the lower low here with S&P. We had higher lows here. So again, didn't expect this much to be popping up here. Taking this buy up into a 50% mean reversion of the range would have been pretty nice, or even that breakout level there, and then that would have been kind of like as good as it got for me. But and look at them pushing up higher. So dude, so happy I didn't hold on to that bitch. Dow rushing down for that liquidity and breakout area. It's just a higher low at the moment. Dow is still bullish. And you can see here Dow coming down, 3 drives, pretty beautiful, coming deep. This is why I don't trade Dow. They do this shit on a normal basis. And then but hey, came right back up to squeeze them out, 25% to the tick, comes back outside the 930. And then just bought up again. Let me just keep going here, man, because I am tired. So here, S&P came real deep. And then now this is that August, September shit we're talking about where, you don't know what the hell is going on at a point. And these next 2 weeks are especially the next, I'd say these next 10 days are going to be fucking tough. I don't even really want to trade these next 10 days flat out, to be honest with you. And now they're talking about Trump's tariffs might not pass or whatever, which will be a disaster. This market, we're going to be going into a recession if that happens. And they talking about cutting rates, and is that the debt that we've accumulated now has to get worked on, and it's like, bro, that it's inflated, right? All the value is inflated, and that's my opinion. I mean, I really don't think if they keep these things flowing like the way it is with no rate cuts and tariffs working, then we're really bullish. But if they cut both of those things, then I think we're headed for when we say a recession, we're talking about a pullback, right? Like a major pullback. So we'll somewhere deep into here, it's gonna get again very tricky. But as we're speaking, this is a breakout area here. And Nvidia was also a part of some of this conversation, which I'll get into. But right now, to me, coming this deep, can it be still bullish here? Yeah, I can. But we cannot break that low. That's my opinion. So we came back up, and it's going to be very tricky. Period. Let's take a look at this. Ugh. So this is why I don't trade S&P. So coming up, well, actually, it's not that bad, I should say. So came down, all right, broke the low, and then retraced for a lower high, and then another lower low, which was nice, and then popping up. Now this could be a shift in structure, and in a way we're consolidating. So the thing is for me, if we're gonna buy a reversal, if it was gonna reverse, it should be doing this, but it should have not really came any lower. It should have just kept pushing up. So the flow here, I'm just following structure. That's a break in this general conversation. So like for example, like this expansion down and then a retracement, it's a sharp move back. So it looks like a reversal. But we have flow down, so that became a retracement then for another expansion, but it doesn't break this. So now we were consolidating, but we just busted through. So again with these equal lows and this day just closing like this, it's going to be very tricky, and I'll draw it in a second what I mean. But we had a gap down from Nvidia. And then I knew they wanted to take out this low, and I knew they wanted to fucking get right here. See this gap right here has no price action at all. You're gonna say, well, what about this? Well, it doesn't. From here to here, it doesn't have any price action. So that's why I don't think the downside is done with at the moment. But it's another AMD month, right? Like so. So we open up and we get accumulating sells down, and then we get a manipulation, and then we distribute back up for the month. But speaking currently for today, we gapped down and they already came back up. And see how when this price action, it came up to the open, rejects, and it comes back down to then take that out and take that. And I knew that was the goal. So I'm literally watching NVIDIA while it's coming down here while I'm selling down. So that's kind of like how I had to play today. These motherfuckers, bro. So got right to the 75% right there. And just fire, bro. This was fire. I love this, but there's this little piece of me that just makes me mad. You know, it's okay. It's fine. It's no big deal. I'm very grateful for trusting my analysis and sticking to it. As you see, my stop loss wasn't invalidated. I got saved by these candles right here. Literally stopped on a dime. Look at the bodies right there. I mean, I was like, thank God. But I knew I was at a 4 hour here. So I was trying to sell down to it, but yeah, and this motherfucker. And I was like, I'm walking away, you know. And I was like, take the reversal, just take a lunch, just see what happens. But you know, and how would I have been involved? Well, this little guy right here. See this guy right here? So you got an up candle here, and you come down, and then you break above it, and then this price action literally closes over the bearish imbalance, which then becomes an inversion if I draw it, obviously. If you're wondering, I don't know. But oh boy, I gotta go. All right, and then you have these two down candles here. So I understood that, but I was literally like on my way to lunch. Didn't hit it. I was like literally on my way. I'm like, I'm fucking done. I'm just hungry. Super long night yesterday. So this coming up like this, because that up candle, all right, and then that low, and then the divergence, and but you know, it's just like you get like this low, and it's like, dude, you got to take that out, and these motherfuckers didn't. But this was the writing on the wall right here, and then we retrace deep. Actually, I'll put on the lower candle just so you see that, because that's really so pushing deep, and then we make another high. Right. So, but here it's very choppy. I'm not trying to find out. You probably think it's going to just raid or something, but dude, it held, and then it just kept going up. And then right here, support block right there, and bodies in there. But anyways, man, the 930 was beautiful because when we pushed down, we pushed up. Very easy to come back down and get that. But yeah, didn't expect all that. But again, what are they doing? If you look on the higher time frame, we've already accomplished fucking everybody here, right? So, you know, when they come back up, look at it as a retracement and then an expansion, and then and it reverses again. So double bottom could be reversal, and it's not a pretty reversal, obviously. But if we were going to consolidate, I would have rather took out these lows, you know, first and then bought up, but that didn't happen for Nas. So anyways, now we took out to that breakout level and then in balance. I don't know, man. I really don't. If I'm going to draw this, this is what it looks like for the 5 year. We would, if we were bearish, like this is the 5 year, like we're coming up. Hold on a second. It came down. Ugh. I mean, I'm talking about this is gonna be ugly. Yeah. Again, if it's bearish, then I'm expecting this at the 5 year data. Okay, just it's not what I expect. So that's the 5 year. I'm doing this in the beginning of the month, by the way. If it's the 15 year, which because it's not the 5. I mean, I'm sorry, it's not the 30 year. The 15 year looks more accurate. A little bit, I should say. Then, you know, that was the first of the month, right there. Yeah, I mean, you might even see something like this. Or, and if it doesn't do that, then, it's gonna literally do this up until the last 10 days. So let's just say the 20th, and then it sells off again. I know this should look crazy. But all right, and then fourth quarter comes in, and then we should be bouncing up, buying for the rest of the year or whatever. So this is not anything I want to be a part of. Well, but the initial moves coming down, coming back up, okay, that would have been nice. Okay, but I was a part of just the down, right? Coming back up, this is logical. Now from here, slither up, roll over. Maybe not even this high. Um, who knows? There's the opening week gap. We are a bull. We are a yeah. So the idea is, I mean, coming down, great. Coming back up, great. From here, it's like, okay, well, what the fuck are we gonna do? I would expect it to roll over again to wipe out easy buyers because it was easy. It really was. And then once you get into after that, it's like I'm no idea, obviously, but yeah, I don't know, man. That's just really suspect. It would have been nice if September would have just already, not September, August had already came in here, swept all that, and got into this weekly imbalance here. That would have been cool. But we'll see what they do, man. But again, these next 10 days is definitely not something I'm interested in. So I'm gonna play it as high resistance. I'm gonna look for easy people who just made money. Um, and yeah. Again, came up here. We had an expansion with a consolidation and then a retracement. All right, it broke through. So as a reversal. So after this expansion, it came down. This is a retracement. Expansion, retracement, expansion, retracement, expansion. Stop. So in a consolidation, but we're not. I can't even talk about that because we're now up here, which is super awkward. Um, but oh, let me see here. I mean, because it's not like this where you had to push down and you came back up. You were in control of this bearish imbalance, and then you came back down to wipe out the easy buyers to push up. Okay, cool. That was logical with this sell here coming back in. But with this break here, again, remember the example that I just gave you with it kind of doing that? Well, maybe it won't go any lower than here, right? But that's what I'm expecting coming now. And it's already the second and we've done all this. So it's again with this wick here that on this daily, in a perfect world, I'd like to see it come back in here and then buy back up. Is what I'd like to see. So I'll just fucking draw that. So, but I'm expecting something like this now. So, yeah, I want to see something like that. We'll see. Well, what phase of price are we in, dude? Like, we completed a sell model by taking that out. There's so much to talk about. My brain hurts, dude. We were in the 101.5 here. If it's that 5-year, then, this just screams, come get me, over here. So if it's the 5-year, I would expect us to roll over and come back into here. But if it's the 30-year, you're like, why did you talk about the 30-year? Well, the 30-year is literally doesn't even show this type of price action. So it shows selling off and then buying back up, but it's like an ugly road and small ranges up. So that's the 30-year. I'm thinking the 15-year because the 15-year so far has been the only one that's been really kind of close. 15-year doesn't even show us rating this low. But the 15-year showed us this low rating that low, and we did not. So it was kind of like a divergence in a way, seasonality wise. And then with this low getting taken out, where the 15-year does not take out this low, then that's your divergence again, and that was probably explaining the buy. I'm just talking live, freely here. But and then let's see if I did it like this, you'll see there. So when we had this range from there to there and we broke it, you can see that's why it's kind of mitigating price action to the left here, giving you chances to get out and all that. You can see the 101.5, that buy here. Again, do we come back down again? I don't see them really leaving this. And then this daily wick like that, that's crazy. Unless they're really going to do what I told you. So, yeah, that's that first imbalance there. Oh, and by the way, the other reason why, oh yeah, I told you why I was selling it to right there. But then, boom, look at that right there. So, came underneath it, and then we got above it right there. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, 12.49. See that? So, made a short video long. And, I think I've said enough, right? You guys take care. God bless.